Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-anbiya'i Sayyid al-Mursaleen, Nabiyyana Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd, faqad qala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fil Qur'an al-Majid wal Furqan al-Hamid. Fa'awzu billahi min ash-shaytan al-rajim, bismillahi ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ولا تكونوا كالذين ناسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون صدق الله العلي العظيم بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم إنه تعالى ملك كريم جواد بار رؤوف رحيم. عن ابن سارية قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الله عز وجل المتحبون بجلاله في ظل عرشي يوم لا ظل إلا ظلي أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام ببركته إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Recite Durood and Salawat upon the Messenger of Allah, the noble companions, the Ahl Bayt, and Rasulullah salatu wasalam's honorable and modest wives. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadan wa ala alika wa ashabika wa azwajika wa ulamai ummatika wa shuhadai ummatika wa awliyai millatika ya Rasulullah ya Habiballah. Inna alhamdulillah nahmadahu wa nasta'inahu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyatih أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وسيدنا وحبيبنا وشفينا وطبيب قلوبنا وغوثنا ومويننا وكتبنا وفريدنا ونزامنا ورزبينا ومجددنا وأشرفنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We seek His aid and we seek His assistance from the evil of our actions and from the evil within our souls. Whoever Allah guides, no one can mislead him, and whoever Allah misleads, no one can guide him. I bear witness there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah. Dear respected brothers who are gathered here today, I greet you with the greetings of peace of Salamualaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. The Ayatul Mubarak, which I had the sharaf of reciting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, and He says, the ones who have forgotten Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah has made them forget themselves, and those are the fasiqun. Those are the open transgressors and fasiq. Yani those are the ones who openly that commit sins. Here, from this Ayatul Mubarak, we're understanding as well that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a lifestyle for you already. He has made a track for you already. He has made something that you can be upon. In Islam, there's no such thing as free will, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this will for you. He has made predestination for you already. Your taqdeer, your kismat, your luck, however you say, is already predetermined. And also, He has made a life ordained for you already. Meaning, if you forget the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will make you forget your own self. You will be indulged in various sins, and you will be doing zulm upon yourself and committing major or minor sins, so much that you will do fahasha, that you will not understand what you are doing. This is what the meaning of this Ayatul Mubarak is, that the one that forgets the remembrance of Allah, Allah makes him forget about himself. So we need to be warned that we need to be in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all times. In the month of Ramadan, we were in the remembrance. We were fasting. And we were gaining taqwa upon Allah. You are fasting on all of your physical attributes that you have. You are fasting with that as well. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you. He wants you to be on that path. Not just in Ramadan, but outside of Ramadan. But those people that have gained success, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about those people. They are those 7 people, the 7 type of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to shade under the throne in Yawm al-Qiyamah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose us to be one of those people as well, or those type of people. In Yawm al-Qiyamah, they'll be distinguished from right and left. On the right side, there will be good people, sabiqun, those people who are elite, who are on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put His rewards upon, anam upon. And then those are those type of people on the left side, in Yawm al-Qiyamah, that had transgressed himself and did zulm upon themselves. Those are the fasiq. Those are the ones who have committed evil deeds, and they will be punished. So Allah has distinguished from right and left already in Yawm al-Qiyamah. And of them, there are certain people that are going to be shaded in Yawm al-Qiyamah. Remember that day when you will be swimming in your sweat. You will be swimming in your sweat in Yawm al-Qiyamah. The sun now will not be like the sun, how it is in Yawm al-Qiyamah. The layers will be out so much that the heat will be burning you. As much as the heat is burning you now, imagine what the heat will be in Yawm al-Qiyamah. And then there will be no shade, but shade for only of those people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants shade for, the ones who in this dunya have sacrificed their life for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those 7 people are one, the first, the just ruler. We're learning here that you becoming a leader and distinguishing from goodness and badness. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned the evil tyrant ruler in Yawm al-Qiyamah will be having a banner upon himself, and on that it will say zalim, that he is an oppressor, a tyrant ruler, and he will be going into Jahannam because it was through him and his leadership that he has taken advantage of all of his people. We're learning from here that you need to be a good person or a good leader amongst your community, amongst your household, or amongst the work that you have done, that you need to build integrity, values, with all ownership of integrity. Do not commit any sins. That one person is a just ruler, a king. Those kings were the Khulafa Rashidin. Those kings were the Amir al-Mu'mineen. Those ones are also the kings of the Muslim dynasty that brought the Sharia. But they're not the kings now, or those prime ministers now who are committing zulm amongst the Muslims. These people are not going to be shaded in Yawm al-Qiyamah. The second person that's going to be shaded beside the throne on the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the youth who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The youth who remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their youth. Here we're learning and understanding as well that you, away from the masjid, away from the zikr of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there will be 4 questions in Yawm al-Qiyamah. Of those 4 questions, you will not be moved until you answer these 4 questions. Those 4 questions are, one of them is, how did you serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your young youth? These questions are going to be asked. That how did you serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time in your young youth? Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi has said, by the time you are age of 30, if you did not change yourself, you're never going to change yourself. Meaning, before you are 30 years old, if you are on the right path, you will be continuing to be on the path. And if you're above 30 and you're adat, your habits have not changed, then you will never change. So we're learning here that those people are the young kids that refrain from themselves, from the outside world, and built their relation when they were young. Number 3 are the people who love the masjid. Here Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has mentioned the one that comes to the masjid by his right foot when he walks, all of his sins from his right foot when he walks to the masjid will be accumulating good deeds, as the left foot will be erasing all of his sins. This is the barakat of coming inside the masjid and loving the masjid and helping the masjid. These are the third type of people that are going to be shaded in Yawm al-Qiyamah. The fourth person that's going to be shaded in Yawm al-Qiyamah is also the ones that love each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned in the Hadith Mubarak that the one that loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves each brother for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will shade them under His throne in Yawm al-Qiyamah. When there will be no shade, there will be only that shade of the throne by the mercy of Allah. And then the other Hadith Mubarak, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned again that when you love your brother for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, 2 thrones will be built for you in Yawm al-Qiyamah. Amongst them, the Shuhada, the Anbiya, and wa Rasul are going to be in that same line, and they're going to be observing you. So you're going to be in the line of those special people, the elite people. And 2 thrones, meaning 2 thrones like this mimbars of nur, are going to be built for you. And amongst them, the Anbiya wa Rasul and the martyrs are going to give you compliments as well, because you loved each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here we're learning again that there is no compromise amongst the deen. That whatever you have done, that you loved your friend, you loved your brother for the sake of Allah, there was no compromise. There are some friends that you have that will take you astray. Again, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, you are going to be upon the religion of your friend. What does this mean? That you're going to be judged as well with your friends. What type of friends you had. Where did they take you? And because if they were bad, they will take you into Jahannam. And if they were good, they were going to take you in Jannah. The 5th person that are going to be shaded in Yawm al-Qiyamah are the ones who have spent sadaqat and zakat freely, not being conjuice, stingy, and in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here again, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, there's a bab, there's a door, and one of that door of Jannah is the door of zakat. The ones that have keep giving to helping the poor or helping the sadaqat, but through your sadaqat have helped the masjid, helped the miskin, and through your sadaqah and charity have developed and propagated the deen. These are the 5 people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to shade in Yawm al-Qiyamah. The 6th person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to shade in Yawm al-Qiyamah is the one when temptation was upon him. When temptation was upon him, he has remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm going to ask you, which prophet was tested here in the Quran when temptation came upon him and then he remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It was Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam. When Yusuf alayhi salam, when some person was trying to impose immorality and zina or attempt to zina, Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam mentioned here in the Quran that no, I fear Allah, I fear Allah. This is the sunnah of Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam. And then the 6th person, or this was the 6th, the 7th person that is going to be shaded in Yawm al-Qiyamah is the one that remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala secretly at night. The one that cries upon to Allah at night. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned in the Hadith Mubarak that feed the poor, Feed the poor. Don't talk that much. Don't talk unlawful. Feed the poor. Don't talk unlawful. And read namaz at night when everyone is gone to sleep. Meaning that there are some things, my brothers, that is called riyah, that's showing off in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here this is a minor shirk as well, where some people show off when they're reading their salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to give time to Him in secrecy. When it's a one-on-one time between Allah, there are some people that don't do dua. When dua is a worship, is a sign of worship. Some people run away from dua. How are you supposed to better yourself if you don't ask anything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Dua, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, this is the weapon of the believer. This will help you in many ways. Help. Ask for help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and cry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned that there are certain people at the time of tahajjud, they will read their salah privately and secretly and then cry upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on that latter part of night. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives them and forgives all of their sins. And not even that, those are the men, the awliya wa salihin, that cry and appeal for the ummah. It's because of those people, pious people, the ummah will be forgiven as well because of those pious people, because in the time of tahajjud. So again, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned hadith Qudsi, but before the Quran and Pak ayat Mubarak, Allah says, remember me and I will remember you. Yani hadith Mubarak, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, hadith Qudsi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am like what the man thinks of me. If he remembers me alone, I will remember him alone. If he remembers me in assembly, I will remember him in the assembly. And my assembly is the greatest of assembly. And if my man comes to me in one path that is short, I will come in a longer path towards him. And if he comes to me walking, I will come to him running. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is meaning here in this hadith Mubarak. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pak from hands and feet. Allah does not have a hand. Allah does not have a feet. Allah is pak from every direction. He is not up. He is not down. He is not sitting on a throne. So what does He mean by walking and running towards you? He means the mercy and the rahmah will come fast towards you. If you appeal to Allah in such way, by little bit of remembrance, then little bit of the barakat and mercy will come to you. If you remember Him a lot, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will descend His mercy upon you immensely. So learn to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as you can. These 7 type of people are going to be shaded in the Yawm al-Qiyamah when heat will be immense. Heat will be so much, but these certain people are going to be shaded in Yawm al-Qiyamah. And this is what we have remembered ourselves when we are in Ramadan. We remember all of these things. That to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in privately, to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immensely, and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly, and then stay away from fahasha, stay away from haram, stay away from the things that you were doing before, and come back onto the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and apply the sunnah of Rasulullah salatu wasalam. There are certain people that don't want to carry the sunnah of Rasulullah salatu wasalam. If you don't carry the sunnah of Rasulullah salatu wasalam, you may be mahroom of his shafa'at in Yawm al-Qiyamah as well. So we need to change ourselves and what we have learned in the month of Ramadan to apply the Quran, which is the Sharia. And then the sunnah, apply the sunnah of Rasulullah salatu wasalam. And remember, the one that doesn't carry the sunnah of Rasulullah salatu wasalam will be called as a fasiq in Yawm al-Qiyamah. So try to carry as much as you can the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and apply this not just in Ramadan but outside of Ramadan as well. As we are not Ramadan Muslims, we are everyday Muslims. Whatever you have learned from this month of Ramadan, you will learn from going forward on the other months as well. And in the month of Ramadan as well, that you have learned that we will not go into these Eid melas. We will not listen to haram music. We will not eat haram. We will not see haram. We will also restrict ourselves and constrict ourselves with the rahmah of of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the barakat of Rasulullah salatu wasalam. Whatever I've said to you in error today is from my lack of knowledge, and whatever that you have benefited from today is from the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa akhir dawaya.